It's a question we've all been asked, and it is a question we're asking. This is the time of year we like to ask. So, what do you want for Christmas? I know we've asked one another that question. We've asked our kids that question. They all have answered that question.
Yes.
Mostly, we've been asking our granddaughter Callie that question, and we're most interested in doing all we can to help her have a great Christmas. But today, we don't really want to take the time to ask, what do you want for Christmas? We want to invest these moments in helping you to understand how you can have a great Christmas. Sometimes we'll say, we wish you a Merry Christmas. But we have to know that we're not going to have a Merry Christmas by just wishing it to be so.
Right.
We've got to make some decisions in advance. And one thing I can tell you, and Lisa, I'm sure you'd agree or disagree, some of our greatest memories have come from Christmas. We love it. It's packed with family time, traditions.
Yeah.
But our very first Christmas, I remember as being the worst Christmas that we've had together.
Yes, nightmare, total nightmare. We had no plan whatsoever. We went to every relative we knew and went to every house and bought all these presents that were not in the budget.
Nope.
And it just wasn't a very happy time.
Yeah, no, our heart was in the right place. Our
Yeah.
head wasn't quite there. So we came home exhausted and broke, and we made a decision that night.
Yeah.
Never again are we going to just let Christmas unfold that way. We're going to be a whole lot more specific. So today we're going to talk about three areas, three specific parts of our lives that we can make decisions in today that will help tomorrow, this season, as it unfolds, to be all that it can be. And really that starts where it all begins, in our life of faith. And it's so important as we come into this season that we take the time to acknowledge and honor the Lord in all that we do. The Apostle Paul, as he was writing in the book of Colossians, he wrote this. He said, "And whatsoever you do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men." And ironically, Christmas is a time that can get a bit narcissistic. It can be all about what we get, or even we can find joy in what we give. And all of that can be to the neglect of considering Jesus. And it's imperative in every time, but especially this time, that we do what we do as unto the Lord. And I would suggest one area as it pertains to faith. Why don't you make sure that you're making time daily to spend time with Jesus? Read the Word, spend time in prayer. And you never go wrong starting a day off by saying, Jesus, I want to be with you, and I want to walk with you throughout the course of this day. That's one great decision we can make as it relates to our faith life.
And then just being in church, faithfully. And there's a way to be in church safe these days because of COVID. And then our Christmas Eve service that's coming up, it's going to be outside, so it's going to be totally safe. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's just, I think it's so important to be around your church family during this time and Christmas season, and it's just fun.
Yeah, for sure. And, Lisa mentioned our Christmas Eve service, outside, distance. That'll be a great opportunity to invite people. I'll be sharing the gospel message that night. And really, all of this season lends itself to speaking with friends and coworkers and whoever God brings into your life of what it's all about. So keep your faith at the forefront as we head into this Christmas season, all right? Now we're going to talk about the second element, so important, and it's something we think about around the Christmas season, our family. And we have to think about our family, because what happens quite a bit is we get pulled in every different direction. It seems like there are a lot more things on the family calendar. I would challenge you to do this today. Get out the calendar for December and January and just start Xing off some time that you want to spend with your family. Intentionally make memories with your loved ones. It's so important at Christmas.
Ours starts Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
We always watch the movie Elf. And we just get our laughs going and everything. And then over the years, we've kind of started to decorate for Christmas earlier and earlier, just because it's fun. But when he decides to bring the tree in, every single year, you wear the same ugly red flannel.
It's not that bad.
It is. But we always have cookies. And when the kids got older, we had like intense gingerbread house competitions.
Yep.
And that was just super fun and just making memories. And now we can look back on that with our kids being older, and it was just fun.
Established traditions. And, I'll say this, if you have kids at home this Christmas, your kids will primarily remember two things, all right? One, they're going to remember the big things you do. And so do some big things, some special things. But two, they're going to remember what you always do, those habits, those traditions you make. And so make sure you are intentional about sending your kids out into their future with some great memories that came from home during this season. You'll never, ever regret that. Here's the final area. We're going to talk about our financial lives. And, a lot of the pressure at least that I feel around Christmas is around finances. And you love people and you want to give gifts, and sometimes it just brings a burden to the season that can push the joy right out. We don't want to live our lives stressed anytime, but especially not during this time, you know?
No, and if you wait till the month of December to start buying presents and finding the money, it's just not going to happen. So we decided, I don't know, many years ago, that we just pull money out every single month to plan for December. And I start my shopping early because I want to enjoy the season and not be stressed out.
Yeah, for sure. You know, if you were to talk to people who've gone through conflict in their homes and marriage, many times they'd say finances are a big part of that. And we know, we read in Proverbs chapter 10, the Bible says, "He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich." And, you know, I would say, you know, we're saying, hey, we started in January, and you're thinking, yeah, well, thanks a lot. It's December now. I would say note to self for next year, but do your best this year. You see, what you don't want to do is get in the middle of January, get the credit card bills rolling in, and see that Christmas, your joy wasn't only missing then because of financial pressure, but you're taking that into the new year. You want to do your very best to avoid that. So do your best to live by a budget, plan what you're going to do, and then execute your plan. You know, another area I want to mention as it relates to our finances, and this is another tradition we've had in our family, is every year we want to honor the Lord by giving to Him. And, you know, it's His birthday after all. We give presents to everybody else. I don't mind that tradition, but I want to make sure we honor the Lord. And for our church, we're having a Christmas offering once again. And we're going to bless a missionary family that our church supports who's had a very difficult year. We're going to be able to help them. Beyond that, there are some incredible families in our church and in our community whose lives have just been upended by the shutdown due to coronavirus. And we're going to be able to help them in a very practical way, a way that we hope will add joy to their season. And then as a church, man, we've soldiered through this year. You guys have been faithful, but it's been a tough year for sure. And this offering will help our church to end in a good way. So I would encourage you, make giving to the Lord through your local church a part of your Christmas season, and you'll never regret having done that. Well, it was 1903, December.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. The Wright brothers finally got their quote-unquote flying machine up into the air for 120 feet. Well, they were excited about that. Yeah. First thing they did, they went to the telegraph office and sent word to their sister Catherine. They said, "We've finally flown. We'll be home for Christmas." Well, Catherine was so happy to get that news. She rushed down to the newspaper and she wanted to show that to the editor. The editor read those words and his conclusion was this. He said, "How nice. They'll be home for Christmas." He totally missed the enormity of what had just happened. And you know, sometimes we can come through a season that has as much meaning as the Christmas season, and we can miss the real meaning if we're not careful. So our prayer for you, for your family, is that you take some time today as we're just heading into this season to say, you know, I want to make some decisions right now that can help this time of year be all that the Lord would have it to be. We love you guys. God bless you, and Merry Christmas.